I now call upon our alumnus, Mr. Manikandan, CEO, Sparrow E-Bikes, to introduce our Social Impact Award.
Dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, fellow alumnus and my dear students. We started this exercise of initiating an idea to recognize corporates and individuals who actually live beyond their organization. And it took us quite a lot of time to decide even the title for that. But when we zeroed in on the thought process and called it a Social Impact Award, we never thought that the experience would be as humbling as what it is today. Last year, when we instituted the award, we had the pleasure of having Mrs. Vanitha Mohan being honored with the award. We saw the vision in her eyes when she was giving her acceptance speech. The vision to have Coimbator's tanks filled to its brim with rainwater. She single-handedly steered it, conceptualized it, joined hands with the other business communities in Coimbatore and got it done. And it is one of the finest ventures that's taking Coimbatore to the next stage. So having set the tone for the award, we were in catch-22 because we had set a certain level and we aspired to actually move to the next stage. So the soul search to identify the next awardee started the very day we left Ushaben Hall. I know I have been a spot of bother for S.M. Shankar because when we zeroed in on Kitex, I've been behind him for the last 30 to 45 days to get an in-principle approval from the Kitex management to come and accept this award. Surprisingly, they took a lot of time, internalized it to decide and say yes. Shankar and me would probably talk on a daily basis. Today evening, there probably will be an approval. Can we not look at an alternative? We finally agreed that there is no alternative for the current year. And surprisingly, we are at no man's land for the next year. So that is how humbling the experience is when we decided that the award should go to Mr. Sabu Jacob, who's leading Annat Kitex Group 2020 Kilakambalam, because we felt that not only is the person going to be an inspiration for our students, but the inspiration is there for the entire world. I'll just make one statement before I'll request the organizers to play a small video that was shared with us. When I met Mr. Sabu Jacob a few days back, he made one comment which still is striking me. We cannot work on all the 272 panchayats that are there in India, but we want to turn Kilakambalam as a model panchayat and probably get another 272,000 people out of a 1.2 billion Indian population to transform India. I quote, if we find 269,999 people to work along with Sabu Jacob and his team, what Padma Shri T.N. Manoharan said, that the 21st century belongs to India, will not only be for the 21st century, I would say 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, you count as much as you want. The future will be India's, and there will be no scope for Europe or US or the rest of the world to actually step foot and say, can we not partner you? The word, can we not partner you itself will not be possible. With this, I'll request the organizers to play a small video which was shared with us.
A rural village along the eastern suburbs of Kochi in Kerala. Kirakkambalam is a model of sustainable progress undertaken by 2020. the development initiative by Anna Kitex Group. This is a vibrant village where economic, social and environmental priorities are balanced to achieve sustainable development. Kitex Garments, among the largest infant wear manufacturers in the world, is also supply partner to renowned brands like Walmart, Amazon, Target, Gerber, Carter's, The Children's Place, among others. The company employs over 8,000 workers and boasts some of the finest factory facilities and worker conditions in the world. 2020, the development arm of Kitex was formed to ensure community growth in a sustainable manner by addressing multiple issues. What began as a development initiative to cover a few parameters in the home village soon grew in scope to include the entire development spectrum. In order to ensure that progress reaches everyone, the population is categorized on the basis of their economic status. Red cards are issued to the extremely poor and the vulnerable. Yellow to those from below poverty line. Green is for the middle class and blue the upper middle class. Sustainable rural development is vital to social, economic and environmental viability of nations. As global poverty is largely rural, development has to start at the grassroots level, from the villages. 2020's development initiatives are spread across basic necessities like housing, food and water security, infrastructure development to women and childcare, education and sanitation. Under housing, a flagship program, nearly 700 houses have been constructed and more than 500 renovated. Repair work and completion of unfinished houses are also undertaken and land given to the landless to start a new life. The country's first food security market was opened by 2020 in November 2017. It is spread across 14,000 square feet, open 7 days of the week, and functions under closely monitored pricing mechanisms. All grocery items, vegetables, dairy products, poultry, fish, meat, confectionery items, fruits, household and personal care items are sold here at an incredible 50 to 75% discount all through the year. A healthy and dynamic agriculture sector is an important foundation for rural development. 2020 has always been an advocate of organic farming and agriculture sustainability by promoting the ecosystem approach to agriculture. Promotion of organic farming, encouraging agriculture through distribution of agro-machinery, building check dams and canals are some of the main initiatives. Infrastructure covers the basic physical systems of an economy. Of the infrastructure facilities, roads are very important, vital to the growth of a nation. Realizing the importance of a good road network plays in the development of a community, 2020 builds new roads and converts existing rural ones to BMBC to ensure quality and longevity. The infrastructure mandate is not restricted to building new roads, but also widening existing ones to accommodate an exponential increase in traffic over the coming years. Development is carried across carefully selected 12 thematic heads to bring about a truly holistic development. "2020" thus provides to Code the World Commission on Development a better quality of life to everyone through development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. The pilot project currently underway is ready to be scaled up and replicated. If you are a corporate, development organization or philanthropist, let's be catalysts of positive change. Join hands with us. Together, let's build the nation.
Now I will give you the opportunity of listening to the man himself. We had a short interaction with him, and we took his permission to actually get that recorded and play here.
Basically, when we talk about the CSR, okay, mandatorily, you have to spend 2% of your profit. But okay, you can book your expenses 2% in your for the record purposes. A lot of people are misusing that. In the record, you can find that 2% you already spent. But what we decided, that 2% has to be spent in an effectively manner. Even before CSR Act, we started our mission. That's one of the things. I can say my father, started this mission and vision. So he always, used to say, when the business grows, your surrounding also should grow. Otherwise, it's not a sustainable growth. You built up something, multi-story building in a village or some places, and you come out and you find people without food, without houses, or they living under tarpaulins, is not a good sign. We always say it's not CSR, it's TSR. It's a total social responsibility. So we take it in that way. So beyond CSR, we are just, my goal is, to make a model village. There, the people have everything what they need. And the people live happily and peacefully. That's my view. So we decided when the CSR came, we decided, not to engage a third party, to form ourselves, the team and work directly with the people. So that's why, we formed the organization called 2020. 2020, people think why 2020? Because we thought, this mission can fulfill, completed by 2020. In our time, the development means something, okay, we need all that. We need all the luxury, we need cinema theaters, we need shopping malls, but along with that, I can say in one family, a father, mother, their children can sit in one table and eat food happily and peacefully. That is development.
Now you've seen what exactly was the vision with respect to 2020 Kilakamalam. Now, one of the reasons why we chose Sabo Jacob is what we saw now and what we heard from him. The other aspect is his role in leading the commercial operations of the Anna Kitex group, spread over textiles, garments, aluminum utensils, spices. Now they're getting into bags, etc., etc. So they've got a huge expansion plan underway to try and take their turnover 4x. In his scope as leader of the organization, it's important to note from the perspective that we've got two bankers on the dais. Over a period of 7 to 8 years, an investment in Kitex would probably have given a return of only 130 to 140 times. Now this is very small compared to what exactly we can visualize. 130 to 140 times is unbelievable growth for a company that's based out of Kerala, where we think industries cannot survive. Handling 20,000 plus employees inside an infrastructure is not an easy piece of game. And the Anna Kitex group has been doing that successfully over the last 15 to 20 years. We have spoken numbers. Now let's come into the human side of it. With respect to the investment that the company's made to their employees and being responsible. The machines shut down at 5 o'clock in the evening. They are programmed to shut down at 5 o'clock. By 5:05, the employees are out of the factory. 5:10, the buses leave. 5:15, the management is outside. And then the premises is in the hands of the security. Now, how many people can do that day by day, year by year? Now, this is not an ordinary achievement. Now, the man says he starts his life at 7 o'clock in the morning. Between 7 and 10, he's handling 2020 Kilakambalam. 10 o'clock, he's in the factory. Between 10 and 5, he's in the factory. And at 5 o'clock, he goes back to the society. And 10 o'clock, he finishes his day. Now, he balances society, his organization, and also his family. This is something that cannot be left without recognition. So that is why we were insistent that the recognition is done in true spirit, not only to commend the work that they are doing, but to act as an inspiration to the entire community, so that of the other 2,69,999 that I counted, if we can find one or two from us or from people who have heard this, then our objective of having chosen Sabu Jacob is probably successful to some extent. Now, I have one more comment to make before I hand over to the organizers. With respect to the 2020 Kilakambalam, they swept the panchayat elections, beating stalwarts who have ruled in that panchayat. Now, winning 17 out of 19 seats is not important. What is important is to note the voting percentage. 84.3% was the recorded votage on that panchayat election time. Now, this is unbelievable. We are talking 50%, 55%, but getting a voting percentage of 84.3% and sweeping 17 out of 19 seats is no ordinary achievement. And the intent of having swept the elections is not to take charge of the panchayat. It is actually to get them the right to do what they want to do for the community. With these words, I would request the audience here to give a standing ovation to Sabu M. Jacob and his team. We have Jeff here on his behalf.
Thank you, sir. We would now request our Chief Guest Padma Shri Mr. T.N. Manoharan, sir, to hand over the award to Mr. Jeff Jacob, who will receive it on behalf of Mr. Sabu M. Jacob.
I am reading the citation award for Mr. Sabu M. Jacob. Guided by his father's values and driven by his far-sighted vision, heralding a wave of unprecedented public support and investing in long-term social development, with reassuring steps, he marches on, the torchbearer of total social responsibility. The Bharatiya School of Management and Entrepreneurial Development Alumni Association is proud to confer the Social Impact Award to Mr. Sabu M. Jacob, Chief Coordinator 2020 Kizhakambalam and Chairman of Anna Kitex Group.
Thank you, sir. I request Mr. Jeff Jacob to share a few words.
Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, I thank on the behalf of my uncle, Mr. Sabu M. Jacob, for honoring us with this award for our TSR program 2020 Kizhakambalam. This is more than social responsibility for our organization. My grandfather, who used to be an industrialist, wanted our village to grow as our industries grew. So he did what he could at his time, because the company was growing at his time of working. So I'll give you a few examples. When Kerala was going through a famine in the 70s, he went to Andhra Pradesh and other states to collect rice and tapioca and distributed them at 2 rupees in our panchayat. This was the model which was followed by my uncle when he created the supermarket. So he buys in bulk and distributes at half price or 75% of the price. My grandfather used to give money to the nuns in the convents of hospitals, as in Alua Hospital, Alua Government Hospital, where nuns used to be there, and he used to give money to them, and he used to advise them to pay the money to the people who don't have money when they come to the hospital, and settle their accounts in the month end in the factory. He also took particular interest in children. The children in the government schools where he studied, who didn't have food, he would give them coupons, and the coupons can be redeemed in the nearby hotel during the lunch breaks of the school session. All this is possible because my grandfather trained my father and my uncle to become better people as the industry grows. When he passed away in 2011, my father and my uncle wanted to do something, wanted to take forward what he had created. So that's how the idea of 2020 Kizhakambalam came into. And we conducted a medical camp for everybody in the panchayat. So we said, okay, we called all the top doctors from all hospitals and everywhere. And we were like, okay, we'll have a medical camp, and all diseases found in the medical camp will give free treatment. So we had all kinds of department set up in a hall and a facility in Kizhakambalam, and we found out that this problem was not only related to health. People without houses, people living under basically without any roof, people without toilets, and we couldn't imagine the state at which our village was at that time. So we created this project which you saw. We have constructed houses, we have built toilets, we have renovated houses. We have also done projects related to agriculture, such as we are giving free tractors and harvesters and all their support for cultivation of land in the panchayat. So you may think, how does it help cultivation of paddy help in improving the panchayat? Well, after we cultivated all the land in the panchayat, the water table had risen a considerable amount, and and people with bore wells didn't need those bore wells anymore. Even the smallest of things which we did helped us achieve this goal. In 2020, our goal, we started in 2011, 2012. Our goal was to be the best panchayat in 2020. And we are almost getting there. And we hope to reach there someday on 2020, the year 2020. And we'll remember this prestigious award honored to us by the organization. Thank you very much.